Take in the breath. Stand tall, full for this start of practice in mountain pose. Feel free to close the eyes if that's safe for you. And still see how the breath travels from the lowest part of the spine up. And think about the front of the body as well, from the top of the chest back down to the belly. Okay, inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Open the eyes, big full lift. Exhale, lower down, forward fold. So we're going through a very slow sun salutation here as our warm-up. Inhale, half lift, take the hands to the thighs and extend from the hips all the way out to the crown of the head. And step it back to plank position. At the top of plank, make the arms straight. Start on the toes or with the knees on the mat. As always, squeeze in the glutes, lengthen the tailbone, tone the belly, and take your gaze a little forward of the hands. And keeping your long line of the spine, lower it down to the mat. And peel the chest up for cobra. Press down through the hands, down into the feet. Change to child's pose. Press the hips back to the heels. Keep the arms out long in front of you. And add in the side walks here in child's pose. So walk the hands over towards the right side. And then walk the hands across the center and over towards the left side. Okay, bring the hands back into the middle. Come up to all fours and do a few rounds of cat and cow here. Inhale, pull the chest forward and through. Exhale, round the back, press down through the hands and knees for cat pose. Do this a few times, moving back and forth in the spine. And change again to downward facing dog. Several good long full breaths here for a nice stretch through the entire body. And then look forward in between the hands. Make your way forward, step, jump. Inhale, half lift. Again, lengthen from the hips out to the crown of the head. And fold over the legs. Standing forward fold. Stand all the way up, reach the arms to the sky. And bring palms together, center of the chest. We'll do this again a little bit quicker here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the yoga mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And change to downward facing dog. Stay in dog pose for several breaths. Next, inhale, look in between the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And bring palms together, center of the chest. Do the whole thing one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Go to downward facing dog. Breathe here. Inhale, look to your hands. Exhale, step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. And bring palms together, center of the chest. Pause there for a moment. And then just easy side bends. Take the hands down by your side. Bring the right hand to your hip and reach to the left. On an inhale, come back upright, switch the hands, and side bend to the second direction. Trying to lift up through the entire left side here as you kind of crunch down on the right ribs. And we'll bring it back up to the middle. Inhale, lift the arms to the sky. Utkatasana, bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Chair pose. And then take the hands lower down to the line of the shoulders. Look at the knees and sit a little bit lower. I usually need to widen the feet just a little bit here. Make sure your knees stay over the second and third toes, even as you go lower into the squat. We'll add the twist, bring the palms together, and take the right elbow towards the left knee. It can lock down to the outside of the thigh or stay more lifted, whichever gives you the best version of this twist. And then come back into the center and twist to the second side. Sometimes the pressure of the elbow against the thigh is helpful. Sometimes keeping the space is more helpful. Just check in. And then we go back to the center. Again, arms out, shoulder height. Lift the torso about halfway, bring the arms higher up, legs burning right about now, and then stand all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the right foot forward, step your left foot back so we get into our low lunge here. In the low lunge, take your hips just a little higher than you first thought to, so we're not sinking down and low. We're a little bit higher up. And then add the twist, right hand to the sky. And I say hips a little higher there. It helps at least me and my body know that I'm not overstretching through the left leg, through the front of the thigh there. And when we add this twist, it can better target the outer hip of the front leg. Okay, hands to the inside of the right foot. Change to our down dog lunge, always one of my favorites. Spin the back heel down, walk the hands out towards the left corner of the mat. And then we'll go all the way into plank pose. So bring it back into your lunge. Step the right foot backwards to plank. And then balance on the right hand, turn to the outside of the right foot for side plank. Left arm up to the sky. Use the version where you either stack the feet or take the left foot forward like a kickstand. Okay, full plank again. And lower down to the mat. Cobra, lift the chest. And change to downward facing dog. One more little bit on this side. Take the right leg into the air for three-legged dog. And step all the way through to your lunge again. Come up to high lunge, arms to the sky. And then we're trying to rejoin, back foot to the front for chair pose again. Utkatasana, both feet come together. This time in chair pose, interlace the hands behind your back. Try head down towards the knees, arms up to the sky. If the interlace of the hands doesn't feel right, I like the option of hands at the waist and squeeze the elbows still together, and it'll get us into the shoulders still. And then come all the way back up, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Now keep the left foot forward and step the right foot back into your lunge. Remember not to drop the back hip or leg too far down. Keep it more lifted. Back leg straight, hips square. At the twist, left arm to the sky. Good. Down dog lunge. Bring both hands to the inside. Spin the back heel down and put some weight into the right leg. Walk the hands out. They can stay just on fingertips. Not a lot of weight needed in the hands here. And walk the hands in. Find full plank pose. Slide the left foot back. And then side plank. Hips lift a little higher so that we can draw back. Left shoulder away from the line of the back of the wrist. A little bit of an angle there to help support. Right arm up to the sky. Again, stack the feet or step the right foot forward. From side plank, go back to full plank, 2 hands to the ground. Lay your chest down to the mat. Cobra. Strong in the legs as we peel the chest up. And then let's go back to child's pose. Set the hips back to the heels. Arms can stay forward or wrap back to the feet for a moment if you'd like a little more release in the shoulders and upper body. Roll the sit back on the heels. Okay, so we're kind of combining this last high lunge with a few more things. Left foot forward. Lift the arms towards the sky. Let the hips move a little down and forward here. So if before in the low lunge we were trying to keep everything a little more up and back, now we are lowering down. And then add a twist into it. Right hand goes across, just kind of hold on to the outer thigh and look back over the left shoulder. Come back to neutral, hands to the center. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, and then we get in the high lunge that we did on the first side, so as not to be forgotten here. And step the back foot forward to the front of the mat. And then keep the right foot there and step the left foot back and lower the back knee down to the mat. Let the hips move slightly down and forward. And if the front knee goes past the line of the ankle, fine. Just keep the foot flat and the knee still over the second and third toes. We're looking for a pretty steady stretch in the back left hip flexor, back leg. And let's lower the hands around the front foot here. Pop up the back knee. And now we're taking this into a twisted lunge. So hands at the thigh, palms together, and lock the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Feel kind of funky. We're taking Not always the same exact thing side to side in the same order, but we're getting it all in, I promise. So a little stronger twist here first. I just want to kind of check in. How is it different? How does the body respond when we just put things in different orders? Okay, and then I want you to drop the back knee down again and come into that, what I think is more gentle twist, a little more upright in the torso, more of the hand or forearm against the left leg, right hand just behind you. Look over the right shoulder. Drop both hands down around the front foot. And then we'll switch sides by just stepping left foot forward, right foot back. Walk the hands up to the front thigh. And that deeper twist here, right elbow to the outside of the left thigh, palms together. Try to press the hands to the center of the chest to help tone and turn the torso. And untwist. Take everything back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedal out the feet a bit. Starting on the left side, lift the left leg up into the air for a three-legged dog. And step it all the way through to your lunge. Spin the back heel down, come up to warrior two. So lift the torso. So we've got shoulders stacked right over the line of the hips. Extend the arms out in either direction. Side angle, elbow down to the knee. Take the top arm, palm down overhead. We're looking for this long reach and side bend on the right side of the torso. And then this is a challenge option. You can take it or not. Instead of resting the left elbow against the thigh, take the left hand to wrap around your waist, or even left hand to clap to your right hand. So we get low belly and leg engagement a little bit more. Now turn and look at the bottom leg. Go back into your low lunge. Step back to plank. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And back to downward facing dog. Instead of three-legged dog on this side, just step the right foot forward into your lunge. Spin the back heel down, come upright, warrior two. Extend the arms in either direction. Again, gaze over the front fingertips. We want this open hip, shoulder, chest position to stay with us as we take elbow down to the knee, top arm palm down overhead. And not a passive reach overhead. We're really extending through, getting a little more length from the hip to the shoulder. And again, we stay and work there. Or two different challenging options. Wrap the right hand to the left waist, or the right hand up to the left hand, like they're clapping to one another. And trying to keep your long reach. Let everything come down to your low lunge. Pick up the back heel again. Step through to plank. Add one more flow. Lower it down. Peel the chest up. And go back to downward facing dog. This time, walk the hands backwards to their feet. Oh, finally finding our ragdoll pose here. Let the head and arms, upper body really hang heavy over the legs. Maybe hold on to the elbows and do a little sway side to side. Deep breath out. And then roll it all the way up to standing. Shoulders up and back a couple of times. And we'll adjust the shoulders forward and down. Okay, I've got one more standing pose, and then I want to spend a little stretchy time down on the mat today. So take the feet wide, face a long edge of the mat. Good old triangle pose here. Turn the right toes out. Today, take the right arm straight out as well, palm up towards the sky, and do the reach that we just did in side angle all the way over. And then lower the right hand, whether it reaches the floor or your leg. Mine reaches just lower towards the calf. And then left arm up towards the sky. Look up. And as you look up, there should be just a little subtle change of more opening, kind of that open twist across belly, chest, shoulders. Keep all of that and send the left arm long overhead, so towards your right foot, just like we did in side angle before. Looking for all these side bends. Get some length into mid to low back today. And then bring the hand to the waist. Both hands to the waist, bring the torso upright. We'll switch, turn the feet, right toe straight ahead now, left toes out. Take the left arm out, palm up. Hinge by reaching as far as you can to the left and push the hip a little bit out to the right. And then where does the hand fall? Not having to reach any further than where it falls. And right arm up to the sky. Few breaths. And doing the harder thing, right hand goes longer overhead. Get a more lift and puff through the ribs towards the hip here. And bring the right hand back to the waist. Make it a little easier instead of the long lever to come all the way back up. Turn the feet parallel to one another. And then take wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Bring the hands down to the floor. Feel free to bend the knees to make that most accessible. If it works, go for straighter legs. Find this as a stretch into the hamstrings, the back of our thighs. And then transition to sit down onto your yoga mat. So we're coming into a straddle position. You can use the long length or have the feet off of the mat, however works best for you. Find a straddle that's comfortable, not overly done. Flex the feet, toes, knees straight up to the sky. We're going to do the same pose in a couple of variations here. Walk the hands out in front of you. So the direction, if you're thinking about the pelvis as a bowl, is tipping a little bit forward and down here. Just for a moment, a couple of breaths. And we're going to go through this whole thing in about 5 minutes, but this can be a good sequence to slow down if you ever have time and spend more like 20 minutes on. So I'm going to keep just rights and lefts as they are. Right foot, take it flat on the floor as if that right leg is kind of like in a squat position. The knee will want to fall in. Try not to let that happen. It still wants to bow out. And then reach your left hand towards the left foot. And we can reach hold of the foot or the ground. And then right arm overhead. It goes back into that same side body reach that we did in triangle pose and side angle pose. Maybe go all the way down towards the bottom forearm to the ground. And if the right sit bone, the right side of your butt comes off of the ground, let it. Don't try to push it down. It's your body letting you know it needs a little give. Then come up and switch sides. So again, we're just taking a couple of breaths. We've got the left foot set up for the like squat leg, Malasana squat. Keep the knee bowing out rather than falling in. So have weight on the pinky side of the foot. Reach the right hand towards the right foot. Look over the left shoulder though. And then take the left arm overhead. And those two hands come together as much as works. Maybe even clapping together like we tried in our side angle earlier. And then we'll come all the way back up, go back to the full straddle, and walk the hands out in front. Just a couple of breaths right through the center. And then bring the torso back up. Exact same sort of movement and stretch, but we'll have the opposing leg in a different position. So the right leg. So now bring your right heel in towards your pubic bone. And we're thinking heel right towards the center, but the legs are still in that straddle wide open. And reach the left hand again towards the left foot, or let it fall down towards the mat. Look over the right shoulder and take right hand palm down. So try to reach long overhead. Noticing how changing the dynamic of that right leg may or may not help here with the side bend stretch. So this is revolved head and knee pose. And then again, bring it all the way back upright and switch legs. So full straddle, and then pull the left heel in. We're trying to pretty fully close the knee joint. Reach towards the right leg. Look over your left shoulder. Stay with that closed foot. My left side's not feeling it, so I'm going to go back to the first variation. And that's why we started with the first variation, is to always show that we've got different variations and options. And then come all the way back up, full straddle. And walk down to your center for, again, a couple of breaths. And build this back upright. Hold on to the outside of your legs so that you can pull in. Give yourself like a little bear squeeze there. Nice counter movement. And then lie down onto your back. For those watching this back at a later date, you'll notice the class is just a little bit shorter today. You can use the extra 10 minutes to move on your own or maybe get in a meditation. So as we lie down onto our back, take the arms out to the side and both knees over to the right. So we get in another spinal twist here. We're going for the twist and the side body length and stretch all through this practice. Bring the knees across the center and lie them down towards the left side. Look over your right shoulder or just straight up. All right, bring the knees back to the middle. Give yourself a good little squeeze here. If there's any more movement that you'd like, add it in right now. Just a little unwinding, rock a little, roll a little side to side. And then work your way into stillness. You can stay lying back. Shavasana with the arms and legs extended, maybe eyes closed. You're free to change, set yourself up in a different way for the time of stillness as well. Right, I'm going to close us out here today. Feel free to stay back in Shavasana a little bit longer. Just take in the breath. I'll close in the sound of Om, that sound of beginning that always transitions from one place to the next. And gratitude to yourself, each other in this practice. Namaste.